12 Overture, one of your favorites.
Among others. But the point is that they don't have a great deal of players, but yet his program has been one of the best programs in the state. Year in and year out. When you talk to Group 3, you're talking Randolph.
Beerles, another low kick. It's a free ball. Corey Baker has it. Baker is brought down inside the 25-yard line. Bill Banks making the stop. Randolph, 65 yards in 6 plays. Split their 6 plays equally among runs and passes. And Sandler, the 2-yard run. The pass no good for the 2-point try, and it's 16-12. 25 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Rahway will have to get this play off. And in all likelihood, this will be the last play of the third quarter. A.J. Gable now in at the quarterback spot, replacing Marty Denson, who injured himself. Injured his left ankle. And he is out. Powell gets the handoff, and Powell gets across the 25-yard line. Pickup of about a yard on the play, and the gun in the background indicates that the third quarter has come to an end. And so as we head to the final 12 minutes of action, it's a 4-point lead for Rahway. This is the North Jersey Section 2 Group 3 semifinal round, and Rahway leading by 4. Section 2 Group 3 play. Randolph seeded 4th. The other 2 teams in the playoffs, Morris Hills and Montville. Morris Hills 1, Montville 3. The winner of this game will face the winner of that contest on December 1st for the championship in Section 2 Group 3. And Rahway clinging to a 4-point lead, hoping to enter the championship round. In 78 and 79, they won titles, defeating Phillipsburg both times. In 78 at Phillipsburg. In 79, they won at Giant Stadium. In 80, they lost to Summit at Giant Stadium, 10-7 in the Group 3 final. In 81, they lost in the Group 3 playoffs to Caldwell. They haven't been there since. They're in the playoffs now. This is the semifinal game. They're hoping to make it to the championship round. Meanwhile, Randolph looking to defend their title. They're down by 4. It's 3rd down and 6.
With Gable at quarterback, the better passer of the quarterbacks.
And he is sacked as he goes back to pass. Pat Cassane, the junior, making the stop. And he's excited. Look at that defense.
Watch the left side of the Randolph line. Cassane come flying across, putting a lot of pressure on Gable. And just holding his ground. Pat Cassane, one of the juniors in that defense for Randolph, a baseball player.
Gable back to punt, just gets the punt off.
And a beauty.
Sandler fields it at his 44 and brings it back to midfield. 6-yard return for Scott Sandler. Rahway now will have to be tested on defense because Randolph has excellent field position and they can move the ball. They've moved the ball pretty well all day. They were hurt obviously by that interception, but they've been able to move the ball. It's just that Rahway's come up with some key plays at key times. They've bent, but they haven't broken.
Randolph, I think, has momentum going for them now. They've done what they had to do, kicked the ball to Rahway, stopped Rahway on 4th downs, and got possession of the football right at the 50-yard line. And they have shown, as you said, Matt, they can throw the ball, and they are willing to throw the ball. They're throwing into the wind right now. You see Rahway line up with 2 people on the center in that shotgun.
Nardolillo back to pass, fires complete for Sandler. Sandler hit by Lance Thomas at the 43-yard line. 7-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 3. You know, that was one thing that Ed Urgalonis was concerned with. He said that, you know, the defense has been a key for us all year, but I don't know if we can get to Nardolillo. He stands back so deep in that shotgun.
He really does get deep. He looks at several receivers before he decides to throw to Sandler. Sandler is the back crossing over. The inside receiver of the Twins they put out to the left side, crossing over the middle.
Less than 10 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Gogarty in motion. Nardolillo rolls out, fires over the middle, and wide open is Rick Purtell, and Purtell is inside the 30-yard line. He was wide open.
Well, again, that fake in the backfield. You'll see again that Nardolillo comes out all by himself. 2 fakes, one to the dive, one to the counterman. Finds a spot behind the linebackers and underneath the deep backs. A good piece of yardage now. Randolph is moving, and Rahway needs a big play badly.
Ball is at the 29-yard line. 9:15 to play. Should this game end in a tie, there is an overtime provision in state playoffs. One man in the backfield, that's Beerles. They fake it. Oh, not to Beerles, but to Sandler, and then Beerles comes around and takes the handoff, and is stopped at the 30-yard line. Usually it's Beerles hanging out as the lone man in the backfield. That time it was Sandler.
See if they come with a shotgun now. Darryl Pittman. And as you said, Matt, the coach just, when you talk to him about defense, he says they take turns coming up with outstanding plays. There's the coach right now.
Think he's nervous out?
Yeah, he's deeply in concentration about what he's got to do here. Offensively, I think he's talking offense right now in his mind.
2nd and 11, Nardolillo to pass, and he has his man close to a first down. Again, Scott Sandler making the reception. Isaac Scott making the stop. It'll be 3rd and short. He'll be short less than a yard for a first down.
You see that area of the field here, Matt. That is the infield, the skin of the infield. It's about second base right there, the extreme right. And that's hard. I was over there before the game. It's gotten very hard because of the cold temperature.
3rd and short. Nardolillo takes it himself and has a first down. Clock stops, so they'll move the chains. 7:39 left to play in the game.
Plays good for first down.
Randolph relentlessly driving towards the Rahway goal line. 7 minutes and 38 seconds showing on the clock. There's the first downs. Rahway has 4. Randolph has really chewed up the yardage and gotten first downs in this game.
Well, Rahway's 2 touchdowns, a 90-yard pass and a 55-yard interception return. Nardolillo rolling out, firing over the middle, incomplete. Dave Cardinale coming over the middle, had bounced off his chest at around the goal line, 5-yard line rather.
I think he had that ball momentarily, and you'll see the Rahway defender come right in here and make a stick. Let's take a look at it from the end zone. There's the reception, and there's the stick. So it looked like he almost had that ball, but not enough to make it a completion.
So it's 2nd and 10. Clock stops with 7:16 to play.
Rahway looking for the pass now.
They pitch to Sandler, who fakes the pass, and then he is brought down. I think he didn't fake it so much as he just said, well, maybe I can get Isaac Scott away from me if I fake him. Because he was going to throw the ball, but Scott read it, snuffed it out, and brought him down for a big loss. And that's a key play, because the ball's back to the 30-yard line. Loss on the play of about 12, brings up 3rd and 22. And a timeout called by Randolph. Critical play. They've been able to come up with big 3rd down plays, though, all afternoon.
It's too far for a field goal, and it's only 3rd down. So the discussion here is, how deep do we want to throw this ball? We want to go for all the marbles with a bomb, or we want to throw a short pass over the middle, which they have been successful in doing from the shotgun. They've thrown about 10 yards across the middle behind the linebackers. And then again, we don't want to throw that screen, because the last one we threw, Powell picked off and legged into the end zone. What are we talking about here, Coach? I think
two passes of about 10, 11 yards apiece.
I think we're going to see some flat passes or those hook patterns to the backside end against the or out of the shotgun.
6:54 left to play in the ball game. Jim Marino, the defensive coordinator on the field, speaking with the Rahway defense. Nardolillo on the far sideline was talking with John Bauer.
In a kind of renewed spirit here at Rahway, in terms of the commitment by the Board of Education. There's been lights put on the practice field. There's been
an extra assistant coach was hired.
Right.
Nardolillo back in the shotgun formation. 3rd and 22. Little fires, looking for all the marbles, and it is picked off. Tyrone McQueen with the interception. McQueen with the interception, and for Rahway, that's their 17th interception of the year. For McQueen, his 6th.
They went back to that same play, that pass up the sideline. McQueen picks it off. Here you see Nardilillo throwing that long bomb up the sideline. McQueen just waiting, playing center field, and brings it back to pretty good field position. Rahway's going to have to put together some first downs here and move the ball. There's still 6 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock and ticking. They have to get some first downs, otherwise they're going to give Randolph the opportunity again.
It's the 18th interception for the team and the 6th for McQueen. Handoff to Willie Granby, the fullback who's been quiet. Granby brings it up to the 30-yard line. It's
a Granby roll of about 7 yards. Granby, you know, they say, Ed Yergolona said, I only give him the ball to keep the defense honest. And that time he kept them honest for about 7 yards. 2nd and 3.
Gable on at quarterback in place of Marty Denson, the starter who injured his ankle. Gable keeps it himself, gets a first down up to the 35, and now we're getting to the point where maybe 2 more first downs, and Rahway would be sitting pretty. You see the clock rolling with 5:45 to play. They lead by 4. They're just looking to hold on.
Well, that's the other thing. Gable is the passer of the quarterbacks, but they really don't want to take a chance if they don't have to. They want to get 3 or 4 yards at a clip.
They'll go to Granby, the fullback, again, and Granby gets a couple.
Again, they're not giving it to Powell because the linebackers for Randolph and the perimeter people are keying Powell and trying to stop him, so they'll give the ball to the short man, see if he can break loose. The first time he did. The second time he didn't get as much yardage.
Only picked up 2 that time. It's 2nd and 8 as we approach the 5-minute mark.
We haven't seen McQueen come around on a counter.
No, we haven't. Granby gets the call. Granby has a first down and more across midfield, still on his feet, and he gets inside the 45-yard line.
The quick opener, the one that can hurt him, the one that the fullback will take advantage of when the defense is keying the tailback. They just reverse pivoted out and handed it to him as he ran by. Take a look. There it is, a straight handoff, straight ahead. He comes through clean. And watch the way this young man keeps his feet moving in the open field after he's made contact. He's kept chopping and still had his balance. Good job. Very, very important game for Rahway because they maintain the ball and they keep the clock rolling.
Granby now with 28 yards, 1st and 10 from the 44. And Gable on the keeper has another first down. So late in the game here, Al, the interior linemen for Rahway opening up some big holes, and the inside defenders have really yielded some big yards.
Yeah, and I think it's only because, Matt, that they are really keen on Powell. They certainly are. They're looking right at him and disregarding the fullback and the quarterback, and on consecutive downs, the fullback and the quarterback have moved the ball extensively and gotten the ball down into Randolph territory.
From the 33, as we near 4 minutes left to play in this semifinal game. Powell gets the call this time and gets maybe 2. Jim Dixo had his arms wrapped around his legs. Jeff Jemer also in on the stop.
Very, very tempting, Matt, for Ed Yergolonis to fake that on a running down. On a passing down, it's a different story, but on a running down like we are in right now, to fake that handoff to Powell and have Gable throw the ball into the flat. But, of course, you really don't want to throw the ball and take a chance when you're in this position, leading in the ball game with 3 minutes to go.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Granby getting a call again, moving inside the 30-yard line.
Granby starting to roll now. He's, as I said, hasn't had the opportunity to carry the ball very often. The coach only gives it to him to keep the defense honest. And when the defense is keying on the tailback, he's getting the opportunity, and he's taking advantage of the opportunity.
3rd down and about 4. Granby gets the handoff, but I'm not so sure that that wasn't a busted play. Gable turned around quickly wanting to hand it off, and Granby was about a yard away. Kind of had to reach out and make him take the ball.
Granby was a little slow getting there. A couple of players have slipped today on the footing.
It's 4th down. 4th and about 4. If they pick up the first down, they're in real good shape because there's 2:20 left to play. If they don't, well, Randolph will have one more shot at it.
Last time Gable rolled out, he got sacked by the left side of the Randolph line.
He'll go to the air, fires complete to McQueen for a first down and more. And McQueen is in, and that should do it.
What a job by McQueen
for the touchdown.
A quick look in, a play that we saw them practice before the ball game when they line up as a team at the end of their warm-up session. There's Ed Yergalonis telling them to get out of that mess they had. They had a big pile of people in the end zone. That could be a 15-yard penalty for delay of the game, so that's what the coach was concerned about. But it was a great execution of the look-in pass.
22, Randolph 12, 2:04 remaining. The clock is official.
What a job keeping his feet.
Tyrone McQueen, who was considered the big play man, one of the big play men on this team. The more he touches the ball, Ed Yergalonis says, the more chance we have to score. And he touched it that time and went in. Gable will throw for 2, corner of the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Emma Lee.
Score remains.
So it's 22-12 with 2:04 left to play. And it looks like Rahway will be in the championship, unseating the defending champions, Randolph, here in the semifinals. And it looks like Rahway will face the winner of the Montville-Morris Hills game.
Well, it would take a real strange turn of events for Randolph to be able to put up enough points to overcome. Let's take a look at this touchdown. Watch the way this young man, Tyrone McQueen, who we said hasn't had the ball too much. Watch this, right here. 3 guys hit him. He spins, keeps his feet, and legs into the end zone, high steps out of that tackle, and puts those points in. That's the clincher unless something really wild happens here in the next 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
And deep for Dougherty.
Well, you can expect Randolph to throw the ball a lot now. They won't keep the ball on the ground at all. Sandler from the 17.
Ball taken by Scott Sandler.
Flag has been thrown. Sandler crosses the 35-yard line. Let's see who this penalty is against. It's thrown at around the 31-yard line. Usually a good chance for a flip. Well, blocking below the waist against Randolph, something they certainly didn't want to see occur. A minute 57 left to play.
Well, I'll tell you, this Rahway club is exactly what we expected. They play opportunistic defense, and they look for big plays, and that's the thing that has put them ahead in this ball game.
Rahway, 9 plays, 78 yards. Big drive. McQueen, 28-yard pass from A.J. Gable. Pass was no good, but they lead 22-12. From the 15-yard line, Nardolillo back in shotgun formation. Looking for Cardinal. It's incomplete along the sideline. Clock stops with a minute 40 left. This could be Rahway's last home game on Thanksgiving. They will travel to Cranford to complete their regular season in a watch-on conference matchup. If Morris Hills defeats Montville today, Morris Hills will be the host team for the championship, since Rahway seeded number 2 and Morris Hills number 1. However, if Montville comes away with the win, Montville is seeded 3rd, Rahway 2nd, and then therefore, by being the higher seeded team, Rahway would host the championship.
Isaac Scott is out of the game with an injury. They're working on him on the sidelines.
Nardolillo complete to Gogarty, and Gogarty is up to the 36-yard line.
What a job by Gogarty catching the ball here. The ball was laid by Nardolillo right on his fingertips. He had to stop the ball with his fingertips and then draw it into his body. Did a great job at it. The clock stops as they move the chains.
Minute 33 left, and now it starts to roll. While we have the opportunity, we want to thank Bob Polhemus, the athletic director here at Rahway, for his help in putting the game on, and Ed Yergalonis, the head coach of the Indians, and his coaching staff. Pass is complete to Purtell. Purtell looking to get out of bounds. Can't do it, so the clock continues to roll. Gain of maybe a yard on the play. Corey Baker made the stop, and now we have a timeout called, and it's an official's timeout taken. And it looks like a player's injured. That's what it is. This player injured right in front of the Rahway bench. It's Purtell, the Randolph end, who was injured.
See the Randolph medical staff coming over to look at him. We're being visited here in the booth by Earl Hoagland, the former head coach, athletic director here at Rahway, a man who has seen a great deal of Rahway history and who had some of the super players from Rahway, the Bob Scarpitos and the Joe Williams, who I played against right here on this field. Some great players.
Joe was kind of a blur as he went past you, like you were telling us earlier.
He ran back a punt for about 70 yards in the first half, and I certainly didn't see him go by me anyway.
Looks like Purtell has cramped up, and they seem to be working on his calves, both left and right leg. Minute 8 left to play in this game. Rahway leading by 10, 22-12.
Probably going to throw on every down now.
Not blow your horns in the vicinity of Rahway Hospital. And we wish you all a happy Thanksgiving.
Clock rolling, less than a minute to play now. Nardolillo firing deep, looking for Gogarty. Oh, what a catch, what a hit, a first down. Gogarty way up in the air to grab that pass, and he was hit by Horace Baker, who took his legs right from out underneath him, and Gogarty slow getting up, but let's take a look at it.
Watch this. Horace Baker said,
hit.
should I go for the ball or should I take his legs out? Well, let me punish him a little bit.
Flips.
Bang, Flip City.
Boom. Boy, that's
Boom, right on
there,
his.
right
It's
on
a good
his
thing
neck.
these guys do those neck bridge exercises every day. Because Gogarty did a great job holding on to the ball coming down right on his neck.
Ball's at the 40-yard line. 42 seconds now left to play.
Rahway's got their preventing. They've got their backs 30 yards deep.
Sideline pass is complete. That's John Clark, reserve end, junior, 5'10", 171-pounder. Clock stopped with 31 seconds left. Ball is at the, well, they'll mark it at the 30, and they'll call it second down and short, less than the length of a football.
Rahway has got their defensive back standing on the goal line. 4 deep, well, 2 deep. And the other 4 backs about 10 yards deep.
Nardolillo drops it, picks it up, looking, and now he'll run. He's got a lot of room. Puts his head down, and a big pickup for Greg Nardolillo.
Clock stops as they move the chains. So he had a real head-on collision.
He really did. Just lowered his shoulder and head and came charging through. Rahway player has taken the worse for wear. We have a timeout taken, an official's timeout.
Let's see it. Look at the job he does, picking up the ball between his legs, looking now, looking. Everybody has dropped very, very deep. He starts sprinting up the field. Watch him drop his head and shoulders on his contact. Bang. A couple of the Rahway players banged into each other. Rahway making substitutions. They take out their big defensive tackle, Jerome Laduna, bring in Lance Thomas. A lot more plays run by Randolph as we look at the percentages here. Offensive plays. Randolph, 28 rushes, 26 passes. Rahway, 27 rushes, 6 passes. Big difference in the passes for the total offensive plays.
Offensive plays, 54-33. As we said, Rahway scored on basically quick plays, except for that last touchdown to McQueen. They had the interception returned by Powell and that big touchdown pass back in the second quarter of 90 yards. And actually, if you look back at this game, Randolph has done a lot against Rahway. They just haven't been able to score as often as the Indians.
Rahway has come up with the big plays defensively when they had to. They really have. We said it before. They've come up with the big plays offensively, but more importantly, they have come up with the big plays on defense. They have made the interception. They have made the stops when they had to prevent the first down. And they really have responded to the occasion of being in the first round of the playoffs.
Horace Baker was the injured player. He walks off under his own power. 21 seconds left. Clock now rolls as we get the whistle. Ball is at the 7. Nardolillo steps up, and Nardolillo is brought down short of the goal line.